Hello friends, how are you guys today? I hope you guys are all having an amazing day so far. My name is Shanda and welcome to my channel. I want to start this video off like every video and say thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. I really hope that you enjoy it or you at least give it a chance. And if you guys are returning to my channel, thank you guys so much for returning to my channel. I really appreciate it and it really means a lot to me. So today we have another huge update in this case where it looks like the ACLU has responded to the multiple subpoenas, and there's also some new subpoenas for a couple of AH's friends, and it looks like with all these subpoenas they might actually break under pressure. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright guys, so that glare, I'm sorry you guys, that glare is so awful. I'm gonna go put my contacts in because I don't want, I'll be back. Okay guys, so it looks like the ACLU has responded to the multiple subpoenas and of course being sued because they wouldn't respond. So they have finally responded and they basically said, yeah, we might give you the documents, but we want you to basically agree that you'll keep them confidential first, or at least JD and his team will be the only ones to see them and they'll only be used for the Virginia litigations. So it really sounds to me like they know that they're in some trouble, they want to comply, they don't want to get in deeper trouble, but at the same time they don't want anybody to know what they've done and they don't want any bad press, so they're just like, we'll give you the documents, maybe, but you have to agree first that you're not going to show anybody and don't tell anyone. I'm sorry, I don't think that's how it works, guys. They also said in one of the documents, like, how about we give you the dates and the times and how much she paid? Like, what are you going to do? Just write it on a napkin and give it to us? You're not even, they don't even want to give any documents. They just want to say this is when she paid and this is how much. No proof, no documentation. Like, no, that's not going to fly. But let's go ahead and get into all of the documents. Okay guys, so this is the first document and this is the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of New York. JD is the petitioner versus the ACLU Foundation, Benjamin Weisner and Anthony Romero. Now, this is just the first document here, and it is in New York because that is where he had to actually sue them in because they wouldn't respond to anything. But let's go ahead and take a look at everything that they have here. Okay guys, so we're going to start right here with number 4. Number 4 just says the ACLU Foundation is a nonprofit corporation and they're located in New York, New York. Number 5 is Mr. Weisner. He is an individual who, upon information and belief, is employed by the ACLU Foundation as the Director of Speech, Privacy, and Technology Project. And Mr. Romero is an individual who, upon information and belief, is employed by the ACLU Foundation as well. So number 4, 5, and 6, this is just who the ACLU is and who these two guys are. And then this one is affirmation of Stephanie Teplin. Now Stephanie Teplin is an attorney duly admitted to practice law in the state of New York, and she affirms as followed. She is a partner at Patterson, Belknap, Webb & Tyler, LLP, and she is counsel for the ACLU, Benjamin Weisner, and Anthony Romero in the above captioned action. I am fully familiar with the facts and circumstances herein. I make this affirmation in support of the ACLU non-parties' opposition to petitioner JD and the petitioner to compel responses to the out-of-state subpoenas. Now this right here also says, wherefore JD respectfully requests this court to A, issue an order compelling the ACLU witnesses to comply with the subpoenas, and B, grant JD's cost and attorney fees and such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. And number 8, this says, the Virginia action has received a significant amount of publicity and media coverage. At least 2 ACLU employees and former employees have received distracting and harassing emails, and press inquiries related to JD and AH's dispute. Okay, duly noted. And moving on here, this says the ACLU non-parties' responses to the subpoenas and the parties' negotiations. So here is their response. Number 11, the ACLU non-parties served written responses and objections to the 6 subpoenas. 6. He had to subpoena them 6 times for them to respond. These written responses and objections stated that the ACLU non-parties would not produce documents in response to requests for documents or communications related to donations to the ACLU by AH or others acting on her behalf, along with numerous other objections. So they are saying that they are not going to produce any documents in response to their requests. Can they do that? Just no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to respond to that subpoena. Number 12, I participated in several meet and confer telephone calls with JD's counsel in March and April 2021 concerning the subpoenas. In addition, my colleague Michael Schwartz and I exchanged numerous emails with JD's counsel concerning the subpoenas. Number 13, during my conversations with JD's counsel and consistent with the ACLU non-parties' responses and objections to the subpoena, I told counsel at the ACLU non-parties intended to make a document production consistent with the limitations in their written responses and objections by April 9th, 2021. In addition, my colleague Mr. Schwartz emailed JD's counsel on March 18th, 2021 and stated that the ACLU non-parties would, quote, aim to make our document production by April 9th, end quote. A true and correct copy of Mr. Schwartz's March 18th email is attached as Exhibit E. Number 14. I also told JD's counsel during our conversations that the ACLU non-parties were willing to produce an ACLU corporate witness for a deposition consistent with the limitations in the ACLU's written responses and objections. However, I told JD that the ACLU non-parties would not make any document production until the parties executed a confidentiality agreement. So even before these emails came out and everybody saw these emails, they knew that they were screwed. So they were trying to say, we are not going to comply with these subpoenas at all, and we're not going to produce any documentation until you guys agree that you will keep it all confidential, and we need to sign a confidentiality agreement before we respond to a subpoena. You guys like my voice there? Number 15, in anticipation of making a production on April 9th, the ACLU non-parties used custodial email searches and identified, reviewed, and prepared for production over 500 emails and documents related to the drafting, editing, and placement of the op-ed. There was over 500 emails, and we only got to see like 5 or 6 of them? I wonder what else there is. Number 16, during the parties' meet and confer calls and email exchanges, JD's counsel continued to press for the production of the documents related to AH's donations to the ACLU. Although the ACLU non-parties disputed the relevance of the donation information. Hold on. So during these phone calls, JD's attorney continued to press for the documents that were in their subpoena. Well, yeah, that's what they want. Although the ACLU non-parties disputed the relevance of the donation information? Hold on. Why do they get to deem whether it's relevant or not? They already got this subpoena. A judge thinks it's relevant. Why do they get to say, well, is this even relevant? We dispute the relevance of her donation. Why does it matter if she donated or not? What? Really? Continue. I asked JD's counsel what information was lacking from AH's prior document production concerning her donations to the ACLU. I also offered to discuss ways to authenticate the documents provided by AH if necessary. JD's counsel did not articulate any gaps in AH's production or explain what additional information he required. Well, I'm pretty sure she didn't produce any documentation so far in anywhere. She told everybody she donated all this money, but she has not produced any documentation whatsoever. And she refused to produce any documentation. That's why they're going to the ACLU and to the Children's Hospital like, hey, did she donate this? And they're like, well, what did she not give you? What is it lacking? Okay, number 17. During the parties' meet and confer calls and email exchanges, JD's counsel did not continue to press for production of documents concerning the relationship between JD and AH, their divorce proceedings. Yeah, he didn't press for production of documents concerning their relationship. Why would he want that? That's not what they want. AH's work as an ACLU ambassador or the Virginia Action and Council did not give any reason why such documents were relevant or appropriate to seek from a non-party. Are they kidding right now? The Virginia Action, no one gave us reason why these documents are relevant? I wasn't aware if you give somebody a subpoena that they get to be like, no, I want to know why before. Are you allowed to do that? I don't think so. I don't know. Number 18. During the parties' meet and confer calls and email exchanges, JD's counsel did not explain why multiple depositions were necessary or appropriate, particularly in light of the ACLU's offer to produce a corporate representative. Number 19. The parties also discussed entering into a confidentiality agreement, which the ACLU non-parties had made clear was a precondition to making any document production. Are you allowed to do that, you guys? Like, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know. So if any of you guys know, please let me know. If you get a subpoena, can you, like, combat that and be like, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to comply with this subpoena because until they agree to confidentiality. Like, are they even allowed to do that? I mean, I guess I'm sure you can try, but that's ridiculous. Number 20, the ACLU non-parties reviewed the confidentiality order between JD and AH in the Virginia Action. On March 25, 2021, my colleague Mr. Swartz emailed JD's counsel and stated that the ACLU non-parties were generally comfortable with its terms, but requested 2 adjustments concerning the definition of confidential and an assurance that JD would only use the ACLU non-parties documents and testimony for purposes of litigation in the Virginia Action. A copy of Mr. Swartz's email can be found here. So this is ridiculous, you guys. It's ridiculous. They want an assurance that JD is only going to use these documents and testimonies for the litigation in the Virginia trial. They don't want anybody to see what they've been doing. They don't want anybody to hear what they've been doing behind the scenes. What have they been doing? It doesn't seem like they're very trustworthy. Number 21, JD's objected to the ACLU non-parties proposal, stating that it went, quote, beyond the categories of information for which New York and Virginia courts have recognized confidential treatment is appropriate, end quote. The ACLU non-parties accordingly proposed adopting the definition of confidential in Justice Jennifer G. Schechter, or Justice Andrea Maisley's model of confidentiality order. Attached as Exhibit F is a true and correct copy of the email exchange with JD's counsel dated April 2nd, 2021, discussing this proposal. Number 22. A true and correct copy of Justice Schechter's model confidentiality order is attached as Exhibit G. It's also publicly available here. Number 23, a true and correct copy of the confidentiality order is here. Okay. Alright, moving on. Number 25. In addition, JD's counsel rejected the ACLU non-parties' request that their documents and testimony would not be, quote, shared or disclosed for any purposes other than preparing for or conducting the Virginia action. JD's counsel stated that he intended to use the ACLU non-parties documents and testimony in unspecified current or future proceedings other than the Virginia action. Which I think is their right. I would freaking object to that too. I'd be like, that's crap. You guys are gonna do all this crap and then you're not gonna respond to 6 subpoenas, and then when I finally sue you, you're gonna be like, oh, well, I'll give it to you, but you can't tell anybody, you can't show anybody, you can't do nothing with it except for this. Like, where do you have that right? Why can you say that? I don't know, you guys. Number 26. In the petition, JD raises several concerns about what it means to use, share, or disclose produced information only in connection with the Virginia action. JD's counsel did not raise these questions or concerns in the parties' meet and confer calls, email exchanges. So, sorry. I think that, yeah, JD should have several concerns. I would raise several concerns and be like, I want to know exactly what this means and exactly what they're trying to say and what I can do with these documents and what I can't, because I would want to know exactly everything so that I didn't get in trouble for something I wasn't sure about. Number 27, after the ACLU non-parties and JD were unable to reach an agreement on a confidentiality order, JD's counsel stated that he would consider a temporary confidentiality agreement to allow the ACLU to make its document production while discussions continued. That sounds fair. Okay, I will agree to temporarily have everything confidential so that we get the documents, and then afterwards, if there needs to be other things done with it, we should be allowed to do that. That makes sense. However, JD subsequently stated that after further consideration, he had, quote, no additional proposal concerning the confidential treatment of documents. Number 28, on May 27, 2021, after receiving JD's petition and in further effort to compromise, the ACLU non-parties proposed entering into a stipulation confirming the dates and amounts of all payments made to the ACLU by AH or anyone acting on her behalf. So, in a further effort to compromise, they're like, hey, how about we just tell you where we'll confirm the dates and the amounts that she paid. I'd be like, no, I want the documentation. Number 29. On June 1st, 2021, JD's counsel rejected the proposed stipulation and continued to press for the full scope of documents requested in the subpoenas. Good for you guys. I would be like, no. What do you mean? I want the documentation. Like, what? Give me the documentation that's in the subpoenas. Alright, you guys, so what do you guys think about all this? What do you guys think of the ACLU ignoring 6 subpoenas, and then after being sued, they're like, how about this? We may give you the documents, but you have to agree first that you're not going to tell anybody. How about that? Like, what? Are you serious? Like, what do you guys think about all this? Do you think it's completely ridiculous like I do, or what? Moving on, there's just one more other thing that happened that I wanted to squeeze into this video really quick, but there has been subpoenas going out left and right to AH's friends, and they're basically subpoenaing like all of her communications with her friends, and specifically there is this guy named Tillett Wright, and he is one of her friends I guess, and this guy went, I guess, above and beyond, just like saying things like everybody else. He like actually went into court and testified to these things. He actually wrote an article. Let me show you guys. He actually wrote an article that was called Why I Called 911, and he wrote this article in June of 2016. And so like he's went a little farther than everybody else. So here is his subpoena for him, and this in this subpoena, the documents requested is request number 1: all documents and or communications that refer to or relate to any alleged physical or verbal DV against AH by JD. Request number 2: all communications between you and AH regarding any alleged physical or verbal DV against AH by JD. Number 3, they want all communications between you and you is that Tillett guy, you and any other person regarding any alleged physical or verbal DV against AH by JD, excluding any communications between you and your attorneys on which no third parties were included. Now they had to say that because if you guys watched my other video with the emails between the ACLU and AH, they included her attorney. So in my last video I said that AH lost her privilege for confidentiality about that because they included third parties in their attorney-client privilege. So when they include third parties, then that null and voids your attorney-client privilege. So they're saying in which no third parties were included. So if he included third parties, then that's null and void, and they get to get those documents also. Number 4, all documents and communications that refer or relate to any alleged physical or verbal DV against JD by AH. Number 5, all communications between you and AH regarding any alleged DV against JD by AH. Number 6, all communications between you and any other person regarding any alleged DV against JD by AH. Number 7, any communications between you and AH that refer or relate to any disputes, fights, disagreements, altercations between JD and AH. Request number 8, all communications between you and any other person that refer or relate to any disputes, fights, disagreements, altercations of any kind between JD and AH. Number 9, any documents that refer or relate to any disputes, fights, disagreements between JD and AH. Number 10, all communications between you and AH that refer or relate to any physical or mental DV claimed or claims to have suffered as a result of any conduct by JD. Number 11, any communications between you and any other person that refer or relate to any physical or mental DV claimed or claims that have sustained as a result of any conduct by JD. Okay, number 12, any documents that refer or relate to any, does it really say that? Number 12, any documents that refer or relate to any physical or mental, yeah it does, okay. I thought I was physical or mental AH claimed or claims to have sustained as a result of any conduct by JD. Number 13, all communications between you and AH on any date on which AH claims to have suffered any A at the hands of JD or within 1 week after any date on which AH claims to have suffered A at the hands of JD, specifically including the following dates. There's several dates, and all of those dates are extremely important because all of those dates actually are when she said, you know, something happened. I would really love to know what she's saying to all her friends behind the scenes. Request number 14, all communications with any other person regarding the state of AH relationship with JD on or within 1 week after any date on which AH claims to have suffered A at the hands of JD, specifically including each of these following dates. So they want all communications with this guy and any other person regarding the state of AH relationship with JD on or within 1 week after any of these dates where she claims something had happened. Number 15, all documents or communications between you and AH regarding your testimony in the Sun case. So they want that too. Number 16, all documents or communications between you and any other person regarding your testimony in the Sun case, and excluding your attorneys if there was no third party included. Number 17, all documents or communications between you and AH regarding AH's allegations of A in the divorce action, AH obtaining a restraining order in the divorce action, and AH's monetary settlement in the divorce action. So they want all of those. And number 18, they want all of those again. And if he talked to anyone else besides AH, they want that too. All right, and number 19, all documents or communications between you and AH regarding the defamation action, this whole case. Anything, if they've ever talked about this entire case, they want all of that. And number 20, the last one, all documents or communications between you and any other person regarding the defamation case, excluding any communications between you and your attorneys where there is no third party. So they want all communications between you and any other person regarding the defamation case, the restraining orders, the settlement, the any kind of DV, the Sun case, your testimony. They want all of that. And I don't know, guys. What do you guys think about that? So that is the subpoena, and they're sending those subpoenas out left and right to all of her friends and family. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that her friends and family are going to break under the pressure? Do you think that they're going to hold up? Do you think they're going to get caught if they try to lie? What do you guys think? Because I know for certain that this person we're talking about here, this Tillett Wright, he has personally scrubbed all of his social media since he's gotten this subpoena. So I am very, very interested in, when you put that entire subpoena together, it's a lot. So I wonder if they're going to actually break under the pressure. And I would love to know what all was said behind the scenes. So that is all I have for you guys today. The ACLU responded and all these new subpoenas. What do you guys think is going to happen? I am going to keep you guys up to date as quickly as I can on everything that comes out on this case. I'm trying to do other videos about other cases as well and other things going on, but like things just keep coming out every day about this, and I want to get this out as soon as I can. So if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you guys turn your notifications on so you guys can be notified every time something breaks in this case or every time I upload a video about anything else. And if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really, really helps, and I really appreciate it. It does help a lot, you guys. Your comments help. If you share this video, get this information out there. It is very important. I just cannot believe the ACLU. I can't believe it. This is the ACLU. Like, what are they doing? So please share this, comment, like this video, help get that information out there, like feed the algorithm so like it won't be suppressed. And yeah, you guys, so I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys all like this video, and in a world where you can be anything, you guys, please, please be kind to each other, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys.